Paschatya Deshatarine. So Paschatya Deshatarine. I wanted to recite a verse that I can't find. Vannasandarsito datra tushtaram nisitir shatam kalim sattvaharam punsam karnadara ivarnavam. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who decide to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all good qualities of a human being. Vayantuna vitripyama uttama shloka vikrame yachrimvatam rasagyanam svadu svadu pade pade. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationship with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. So, Yamuna, we have several questions, so let's go. We don't wait more. So please, Yamuna, can you recite your first question about the celestial planets?
Yes,
Actually, the
yes.
question number one and the last one, it's it needs a single answer. So you can recite those, the question number one and the question number, I think is 7.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see. 4, 5, whatever, the first and the last one.
Yes. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Well, I have I've made a series of questions about the celestial planets. The first one and the last one. Well, what are the celestial planets and who inhabits them? And what are some of the names of these planets? Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, let's define a celestial planet, which is places very opulent materially. There is no old age, there is no disease, everything is beautiful, nothing is wrong. So it's a place that anyone knowing them would like to go, So they're not eternal though, they are temporary. And in that place, demigods, inhabitants enjoy material comfort, exquisite beauty, a vastly longer lifespan. No? You also want me to say something about who lives there, if I am not wrong. And just like Indra, Chandra, and Vayu, the residents possess legendary beauty, lives from 10,000, 100,000 of years by celestial calculation, which is different from human calculation. And they are filled with any opulence, architecture and gardens and rivers and lakes and beautiful men, beautiful women. Everything is easy and it's very, very beautiful place to stay. About the time, well, here I have several things that time in the heavenly planets run differently. So the, there is You had to be on mute, Prabhu, otherwise we cannot speak. Just like 6 months on Earth is equal 1 day in the heavenly planets. Also depends on what heavenly planets. As you will see, you ask me for numbers and names, so you're going to get it. So be patient. You are going to hear a lot of names of places, a lot of names of personalities, which probably you will not remember tomorrow or even in 1 hour, but still you ask it. So I try to avoid getting too I say to detail of this, but if someone asks, that's on him. So material nature, it's an incredible comfort and opulence. You can really enjoy life in those places, and we'll see what are these places. But as Srila Prabhupada says, they are still in the material world. They're still material world. You live hundreds of thousands of years, but it is in the material. There is always some problem. Here we have storms. In Puerto Rico, we don't have many austerities, very few, but there is some. It may arise some storm. And in the upper planets, you get demons. You have some kind of austerity. It's not that you can live forever in happiness. Okay. So, and they are still prisoners of the samsara. Samsara, you know what it is? Samsara is the place where you go in cyclically in death and rebirth, etc. It may take hundreds of times, millions of years, but you're going to fall down again. Okay, so there is another question of yours. I will answer to that. You are asking about what is, it's like a step, just steps to spiritual life, but I'm going to leave it to after. So, and every Purana gives you a, you say, um, a description of the universe. But almost all the Purana, they agree that at the beginning, the universe was created by Mahavishnu. There are three Vishnus. Mahavishnu creates the universes, then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, which goes inside each universe. And when Garbhodakashaya Vishnu enters into the universe, then there is only water, half is full of water, and half is void. In the navel of Garbhodakaya Vishnu, it comes lotus flower. On the lotus flower, Brahma is created. He doesn't know what is this because there is no sun. It was all pitch black. It didn't know anything, but it could hear only two words of the Sanskrit dictionary, ta and pa. Tapa together means tapasya. Tapasya means austerity. That voice came from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, who told Brahma, you had to do austerity. So he did austerity for many, many years. And so at the end, he could see for a moment Garbhodakashaya Vishnu and received instructions. What we know now, it comes from him, from Brahma, from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. The parampara the Sampradaya to which we are very proud to be part, it begins from Brahma. The other three Sampradaya come from other, not Brahma. So our Sampradaya, it is a Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And so the lotus flower, um, it comes on the top of the stem. There is a stem, like every lotus flowers, and Brahma established his abode in this stem. So he went below I say the thing of the head of the lotus flower. He went in and saw that there was nothing. So he received power from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu to create. So he created the 14 planetary systems. 14, 7 upper, then there is Earth, and then there is a 7 inside. We are not going to talk about the lower planetary system today, but I'm going to give description of the 7 upper planets. So these upper planetary systems are called the Urvalokas and the Satyaloka, also called Brahmaloka. We try to avoid calling Brahmaloka because Brahmaloka means many things. It means also the spiritual world, Brahmaloka. Brahma means transcendental also. So if we say Brahmaloka, someone may think to the impersonal Brahmanda that's called Brahmaloka, or Brahmaloka, Vaikuntha Loka is called Brahmaloka. So we tend to call it a Satyaloka. Satyaloka is the top. So there is something I want to open one parenthesis on this, that the Vedas do not talk much about planets. No, this is also answering partly to Mukunda Madhava Prabhu sent me and questions. I'm going to answer that, but just something that to make you understand that the Bhagavata describe something else, doesn't describe our universe. Our universe, there is the stars of the sun, and then there are the floating the ball. In the universe, there are 7, 8, 9. Sometimes the scientists change how many planets we have. So whatever they are, the Vedas describe something else. But also in the Vedas, we find Venus, for instance. We know that Venus is the place of Shukracharya, and we know about Mars, and Mars is the place of Kartikeya. And then there is the sun, which is the abode of Vivasvan, and then we have Mercury. Mercury is the place of Buddha, and we are not Buddha. Buddha is another, so two different personalities. We are going to talk one day about Buddha. If you make the questions, I'm going to tell the story. And so this place, it's not. We had to understand that the universe is built multidimensionally. Okay, so we are accustomed to think the universe about two or three, evidently, dimensions, but it's multidimensional. There are other dimensions where the present universe, it reflects and it is a completely different universe, although the same. So if you want to know about the other dimension of the universe, then you study Bhagavatam. Otherwise, you can study other books. which are also Vedic books, because there are Vedic books like the Surya Siddhanta. The Surya Siddhanta describe our universe, because we don't say that our universe is false, it doesn't exist, it's Maya. We don't say that. We say that it's another dimension of the same universe. So great, how you say, great learned person, how you say, like Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati wrote commentary on the Surya Siddhanta. So if
Scholars,
Bhaktisiddhanta,
scholars,
sorry,
scholars.
I
Learned
don't
persons are scholars.
learn,
S
yes, yes.
learned or
Thank you,
scholars. Yes, I'll write
thank
it
you,
for you.
thank you. Learned scholars, like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he wrote a commentary on the Surya Siddhanta, which was um, which describe this universe, while Shukadeva Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavad describes another dimension of the same universe. That's why it doesn't correspond. The fifth canto of the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, not only the fifth canto, because in the second canto you got a similar description of the universe, and which is described in mandala, which means plans. So it is in a stem, and each stem there is a plan in which there are several places. And these places are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes it corresponds to our planets, like we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam description of Venus, which is not the oven that is described in the scientific books. And it's a beautiful place where many sages, so I'm going to tell a lot about this, they live, etc. So it is Venus, it's the same Venus, but the same Venus can present itself to somebody in a way and to somebody else in another way. Do you understand this principle? Otherwise, you're not going to understand anything about the seven upper planetary systems. Then there is Satyaloka, and the second is, and those who live in Satyaloka do not have a body like ours, do not have a flesh and bones body. They are subtle body, made of intelligence, made of subtle, mm, you say, elements. Okay, so if you go to Satyaloka, you don't see anything because you need to have the eyes to perceive those type of bodies. So below Satyaloka, which is the place of Brahma, obviously, there is a second planetary system called Tapaloka. Tapo or Tapoloka is also not a physical place like Earth, okay? But it's a highly spiritual realm, not spiritual, but subtle, and they're inhabited by highly enlightened beings. Tapaloka is like the place of the greatest sages of all, like the sons of Kumara, the Chatusana, or the four Kumaras, they live in Tapaloka. And under Tapaloka, there is a Janaloka. And Janaloka is the place of the sons of Brahma, which are liberated from the material world. Like the four Kumara, they go to Janaloka, but also Brigu lives in Janaloka, or other great sages of the sons of Brahma, they live in Janaloka. Okay. There is one thing, Janaloka and Brahmaloka, obviously, they are not destroyed when the Mahapralaya becomes, or other type of pralaya. That's why they live a lot, and when the inhabitants of the lower planetary systems, yes, I will say they can, the Mahapralaya, the destruction of the universe, the partial destruction of the universe happen, they go to Janaloka. Maharloka, the mystics, the mystic like Markandeya Muni, they live there, great sages which are a lot of yogic powers, they live in Maharloka. And then we get to Svarloka. Svarloka, we know him better. We know better because those who are Brahmanas, those who have the second initiation and chant the Gayatri mantra, they recite every day Bhur I don't say the whole mantra because otherwise you will be initiated and it's not time. It will be. So Bhur-Bhuvasva, Bhur e Bhumandala, and the Svargaloka is another planet that we are going to talk in minutes. And then there is Svarga, Svargaloka, Svarloka. And that's where Indra lives. Indra or Dhruva, the polar star, it is in the Svargaloka. And his wife also, obviously, and there are in Svargaloka. That is a common misunderstanding. The 330 millions of deities, they live in Svargaloka. They don't live in Janaloka, Tapaloka, or Brahmaloka. Okay, the Gandharva, they live in Svargaloka. The Apsara also, and also humans. Humans can get to Svargaloka if they have the. I will answer your question, Vatemi, later when I finish talking about the upper planets. And they also go. The Pandavas went to Svargaloka, etc. Very highly situated, very high consciousness. Humans, they can go to Svargaloka, no? But since though many of them, they are not qualified by birth, you have to be born in Svargaloka to actually reside in Svargaloka. Otherwise, you have to change your body. What I'm saying is 90% correct, and 10% are not correct. Because through yoga, you can qualify your present body to live in Svargaloka, but it's very, you have to be a renunciant. It's not easy with your body. Otherwise, most of human beings, they leave the body and then they go to Svargaloka. Then there is Bhuvarloka. Bhuvarloka is not a good place, because the spirits and demons, they live in Bhuvarloka, which is quite near to our planets, to the place where we live. That's why we get a lot of bad people in the planets. They come from Bhuvarloka, okay? They are spirits, astral entity, Siddha, Charana, Yaksha, Gandharvas. The Gandharva also, although we think about Gandharva as players, no, they live in Bhuvarloka. And Pitriloka, also the Pitri, they live in Bhuvarloka. And phantoms, ghosts, another type of people you don't want to associate with. And then we come to our little planet, which is not actually a little planet, but it is called Bhumandala or Bhuloka. Don't get confused. Bhuvarloka and Bhuloka are two different places. One is upper and the other one is lower. And that's the place where we live. And you don't need many descriptions about the people living in Buloka, because we are fed up in, talking about each other unless we are devotees. But then you know how they are. So Bhumandala is not a planet, but is a plan divided in 7 islands, which are called dvipas. Dvipa means um, um, places or oceans or these kind of things. 7 oceans, circumlands, ¿cómo se dice? Help me. Surrounding.
Circumscribed.
Circumambulate.
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 Yeah, they circum, etc. Earth, then there is the ocean, and then there is another Earth, and then there is another island, and then there is another one, and there's 7 all. Our Earth is situated, in one of these region. In Bhumandala, we have the names of the places or the islands, which are called Yamuna. You asked for it. So Jambudvipa, Plakshadvipa, Salmalidvipa, Kushadvipa, Kraunchadvipa, Sakaradvipa, and Pushkaradvipa. Okay, that's your fault. Jambudvipa is a central island, and it's our island because it is surrounded by an ocean of salt water. The other oceans are not salt water, but they are Lakshadvipa, for instance, it's an ocean of sugarcane juice, Salmalidvipa of a liquor. We have in Jambudvipa, we have salt water. And in Jambudvipa, we have it's divided in 9 regions. Okay? These 9 regions are called Varsha. And one of the Varsha is called, who knows it? Bharatavarsha. It's us, but India. India is Bharatavarsha. It's where everything, where Krishna appeared and where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. That's appeared in Jambudvipa. So I already mentioned the other island. I don't need to. There is one ocean. It surrounds a Pushkaradvipa that is surrounded by an ocean of sweet drinking water. And we got this stupid ocean, useless, that we cannot drink. But in Pushkaradvipa, there is an ocean of salt, of not salt, sweet drinking water. Now, let's concentrate in Jambudvipa. Jambudvipa is divided in 9 geographic regions of Varsha. So don't get angry with Yamuna, but I'm going to say the names very quickly. Okay, it's Ilavrita Varsha, Bharata Varsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, Hari Varsha, Kuru Varsha, Hiranyaya Varsha, Ramyaka Varsha, and Bhadrasha Varsha. Actually, I think one is missing. I don't know. Anyway, this is how the universe is organized. 7 planetary planets. And then there is a Bhumandala, which is where we live. And Bhumandala is divided in various dvipas, Jambudvipa, Plakshadvipa, etc., etc. And then we have information about Jambudvipa because we live in Jambudvipa, and we have several Varsha. They're called Varsha, not Dvipa, but Varsha. Varsha, Ilavrita Varsha. South in the central regions, there is the Mount Meru. Meru is very important, although I'm not going to tell about Meru because otherwise you would beat me up. So because it's long, it's a long story. But Mount Meru is where the whole 7 planetary system are located. It arrives up to Brahmaloka, okay, and all the other planetary system, round planetary system, it goes around the Mount Meru. So, but Mount Meru has its base on Earth, okay, exactamente in Ilavrita Varsha. Okay. Now, just mention, I will mention only the lowest subterranean realms, Atala Loka, Son Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala Loka. This is the 7 planetary systems which are below our system. Okay, so this is briefly how the universe is organized by Lord Brahma. Okay, Yamuna, we can go to the second question.
Yes.
Okay, but there is a question about this. That I spoke about that I think about in Ime wrote something. We are making Krishna the center. What is sorry, which is the one where the Brahmana Dvipa they sing the Gayatri? No, okay, that's you gave me the glimpse to say something. There is no a planet to the Brahmana. Brahmana can be in any planet, in any planetary system, and they chant Gayatri, and the Gayatri it deserves the whole class, if not 2 or 3. But so the Brahmanas, thanks to the Brahmana, the sun comes up. If a Brahmana do not chant the Gayatri mantra, the sun will not come up. It's the Gayatri, which means the transcendental song, más o menos, is mantra, but not really the same. The Gayatri mantra is the Gayatri for excellence in the Vedic thing. You cannot, if you don't have second initiation, you cannot change, because the Gayatri mantra begins with Om, Omkara, or Pranava. It is several names of the Gayatri mantra. You cannot study the Vedas, you cannot worship the deities, you cannot. That is only because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us the Hare Krishna is the most special mantra that we chant it as most important. Otherwise, the Gayatri mantra is the most important. Gayatri mantra is divided in 7 mantras that we had to chant 10 times a day, each one. And so Srila Prabhupada said that you can go back to Krishna only with Maha Mantra, but at the same time he said that all devotees should be qualified to receive the Gayatri Mantra. Okay, Yamuna, can you say the second question?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
before that, sorry, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
After Maharloka and before Swargaloka was the Loka which I registered that the Dvija born go to. So what was the name of that one? Between Maharloka and Swargaloka.
No, after Maharloka, there is Svargaloka or
Okay.
Svarloka. There is nothing. There are seven, included Bhumandala or Bhuloka.
Mhm.
And so if you count Satyaloka, Tapoloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Svarloka, Bhuvarloka, and Bhuloka. And we have the seven upper planets. You know, people forever had done incredible austerity to go somewhere else in some of these places. These places are just heaven. They're called heavenly planets. They are just heaven. You know, there is a beautiful, beautiful from all, and now there is going to be a very nice question by Yamuna, where I will say why devotees do not want to go to the upper because they are too nice. Okay, anyway, Yamuna, tell us.
Well, thank you so much, Gurudev. This is so much information. It's a good thing there's going to be a recording so that we can listen back to it, because how can we remember all of this the first time we hear it? So the next part of my set of questions is, are these heavenly planets stepping stones towards Krishna Loka, or are they simply destinations for souls who do not qualify for Krishna Loka, but who for some reason did not reincarnate right here on planet Earth?
These places are for enjoyment. Whether the enjoyment are like, you know, in Svarloka, where they just enjoy. They enjoy everything you can imagine, or for more subtle enjoyment, like austerities. You know, when a yogi does do austerity, they enjoy like crazy internally. You don't see them going around in forests, in rivers, etc. But they are so happy because there is so much inside than outside. Outside, there's a couple of two, three, always the same, foolish thing to enjoy. We eat, we go, I don't know what you do anyway, all the things that you want to go, but there are very few and they last for nothing. Nothing, just minutes, just seconds. While if you get into the in the physical enjoyment in Svargaloka, or in the subtle enjoyment of Tapoloka or Maharloka, on these places, you are much more happy than in Svargaloka. Much more, much more. Because we have a treasure in our heart, inside ourselves, and we let it sleep. We don't do anything, and we waste time for stupid things. And those who are really wise, but they are not pure devotees. They want to go in these places so they can enjoy much more. Okay, so these places are for enjoyment, are not stepping stone for the spiritual world. It depends how you live there, but it's very difficult. You know, if you read in the Mahabharata and you read what happens in the Svargaloka, etc., you don't want to go there if you are a devotee, because you're going to fall down. You know the stories of the Apsara and music and dance, etc. There is no doubt you're going to fall down. Or unless you are a very, very advanced. But if you are very advanced, why you want to go to Svargaloka to risk your spiritual life? Obviously, you don't want to go. However, there may be a stepping stone to the spiritual world in the sense that somebody has some karma, that he has to, he has a credit of in the bank of having the right to some material enjoyment, and he has to enjoy it this because he cannot purify it by devotional service. And then he goes for some time there. We have many stories about this. He goes on the upper planets and he enjoy what he has to enjoy, and then either see if you can purify the desire, you can go directly to the spiritual world. But again, very careful, it's very, very dangerous. The third is there are positive places or a form of punishment, or you should read it.
Yes, Gurudev. Are they positive places or are they a form of punishment?
Depends. A pure devotee, he sees it as a punishment because it's risking his spiritual life. Yeah. While a person who has no totally spiritual desire, and then you see it as very positive, is going to enjoy for 100,000 of years in a place, but a pure devotee does not want to go there.
I see. Well, that brings us into the last question. Do souls make spiritual progress there, or must they return to the material world in order to progress?
Well, the upper planets are material. Not, it might be subtle, but it is a material worlds, and so it depends what it does in this. Although there is no karma in the upper planets, karma it works only in Bhumandala. Bhumandala there is karma. In upper planets, I just enjoy. Or in the hellish planets, I just suffer. But you cannot renew karma or in a positive way enjoy. You just enjoy, and then depends from your consciousness, because consciousness is there. It's not someone enjoys, but he thinks. So if he think that sooner or later is going to finish, and I don't want it to finish, then it takes birth again in some upper planets. That if he wants to enjoy physically, then Svarga is the best place. Or if Krishna is very kind to him, he sends us back in this stupid world when nothing is right or everything is wrong, and then he starts again suffering and enjoying the little things and like this, and get karma again, and then he lost what he got uh, uh, in the previous lives, and he had to start again. In this world, since there is some happiness and some, well, if you call it happiness, you call it some pleasure and some displeasure, it's a good place for us, because you become so frustrated and then we say Hare Krishna. And in the upper planets, there is nothing is wrong, so you don't get to say Hare Krishna unless you wanted to say it. Okay, so in this sense, they do not have to come back in the medium planet, but there is a good possibility that that will happen. Okay, so now we finished. I think it was going to take, yeah, because I got ashamed to go too much in detail, and so I cut it a little bit, But so we have, well, actually, it's 40 minutes, only that, but I want to answer to all of you. But it is probably is going to take more than 1 hour or 1 hour and a half. If you get tired, if you are unfortunate that you don't like to hear too much, then you can go and you can hear the class in pieces, on YouTube. Okay, so now there is another question. I'm answering question according to when I received the question, which is Bhatinabi sent me very nice question about Radha Krishna. After planets and sages, etc., we got to talk about Krishna. Bhatinabi, can you please read your question?
Yes, Hare Krishna. There is a pastime in which Krishna assumes the form of the deity of the goddess Kali, and Abhimanyu assumed that Radharani was worshipping this deity. Why would Radharani have been worshipping the goddess Kali? I believe I read Prabhupada say that generally meat-eating people worship this deity. Thank you.
No, actually, Kali was the deity of Abhimanyu and also his younger brother Durmada. They were their deities. Radharani was a devotee of Vivasvana. I don't know this, the god of sun. And because Vivasvana Surya is same, Surya gives good marriage. If you worship Surya, you get a good marriage. So Radharani wanted Krishna as an husband, so he was worshiping Surya so that he could get Krishna as a husband. So what happened is that Radha Krishna normally they would hide when they wanted to, because Radharani at the time was married with Abhimanyu, and then Abhimanyu had a sister, Jatila, and then he had a mother, Kutila. And they were always controlling, trying to make a way that Krishna and Radha would not meet. But Radha Krishna will always find a place. So one day they hide in the temple of Kali. And when Abhimanyu, nobody was there, or they were empty. But Jatila arrived and saw them. This place is in Javad. You should visit it. Kutila Dushanashan, that is the place. It's still there. So you can visit the temple of Kali in Javad. And so Jatila closed the door so that they could go, hey, I got them, I caught them. The infideli, como you say, infieles,
The cheaters.
the cheaters, they are in the temple, they cannot get out because there's only one door. So Krishna, to protect Radha's chastity, then he became the deity of Kali. And when everybody arrived, he opened the door and he saw Radha worshipping Kali, actually worshipping Krishna. And that is the story. It's a famous story, actually. In Jabat. Jabat is a wonderful place. It's my favorite, actually, because it looks like a Vrindavan when I visited the first time. There were not thousands, 100,000 of people in cars. There is no cars almost. There is a most beautiful lake called Kishori Kunda that you sit in front of this is the lake of Radharani. She would come every day to bathe in this most beautiful lake. Please go visit it. So So this is what happened. This is the story.
Thank you.
Okay, so and also I want to say something else. It's not true that Kali only eat men. That is like if you read my articles, I answered a few days ago an article about Shiva, where I say that the Shiva is not does not give shelter to because Shiva takes many personalities, and each personality does something. So there is one particular expansion of Shiva, which is called Bhairava, which go around with skulls and ashes, etc. But the original Shiva do not do that, do not eat meat or etc. So Kali, um, Mother Kali, the original form of Kali is Krishna devotee.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we go to Jagannatha Swami Narayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. That's this mantra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loved this mantra, Jagannatha. So we are going to talk quite some time about just Lord Jagannath and Jagannatastaka, and also about the Purushottamadika Mass. Actually, I spoke, I published quite a long article on Adhika Mass not much time ago, before the beginning of the Adhika Mass. Somebody remember that I published it? I think Mother Lavanga do not.
Sí, sí, sí.
You read it?
Sí, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You
I
can.
forgot this was English class. That happens to me sometimes.
Right. It was not in English, yes. But you can make me the same question 10 times. I will enjoy it every time more.
I wanted to get at a certain angle with it because I've heard a lot about Purushottama Mass, but I wanted to know specifically why, like, the worship of Jagannath is auspicious in this way.
Okay. Well, Purushottama. Who is Purushottama? Purushottama Kshetra. What is Purushottama Kshetra? Vrindavan is called Purushottama Kshetra. Purushottama Kshetra is
Jagannath Puri.
is the place of Jagannath, and so that's why that month, the additional month that arrives every 3 years more or less, is the month of Jagannath Swami. So, and when we say Purushottama or Purushottama Mass means the month, and Purushottama month, that is Lord Jagannath. That's me in Lord Jagannath. So, why is that? Because Jagannath, we don't understand it, how important it is as Sri Jagannath Swami. Jagannath Swami is Krishna missing Radharani. This is Lord Jagannath. When who doesn't know the story? I will say it briefly. This happened after Kurukshetra, and there was one solar eclipses. So during a solar eclipse, everybody goes in the place with more auspicious, because of lunar and um, um, and the lunar and solar eclipse means the Rahu is trying to destroy them. So we need the sun, we need the moon, and so everybody chant to protect Chandra and Surya. So at that time, the place is not always the same. They change. At that time, the place was close to Kurukshetra. So everybody went there. Krishna went there, and the Pandavas and everybody, and also the Vrajavasi. They went there with Radha. In almost 100 years that were passed. So when let's see if I remember, because there is the most beautiful mantra, the Radharani. Oh, here it is. This is the most wonderful mantra, or which is a conversation that Srimati Radharani recited to Lalita while seeing Krishna after 100 years. And he said, Priyaso yang Krishna Sahachari Kurukshetra Militas. Tataham Sarada Tadidam Ubayo Sangama Sukham. Tatapyantakela Madura Murari Panchama Jushe Manome Kalindi Pulina Vipinaya Sprihayate. You find this verse if you want in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not been written by Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami, but it was in another Shastra, and he said, "My dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but I would still like to go to the bank of the Yamuna beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of a sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan." Pure devotee cannot really finish to recite this verse. So much ecstasy there is in only one verse. So so at the moment Krishna saw Radharani, he couldn't stand, he couldn't tolerate the vision of Radharani, and he went in ecstasy. And the ecstasy is liquid. It's liquid. There is in the Shastra, there is an explanation why ecstasy is liquid. So because Krishna was in ecstasy, the liquid, his face, his body started to melt completely. And only a face with a big eyes remained, and the arms were just it looked like something. But because the eyes stayed, because he wanted to look at her. He wanted to look at Radharani. So he didn't allow his body to melt completely. And his arms became like this, and his body completely melted, and it is Sri Jagannath Swami. And because it is the foremost form of Krishna, although people do not understand why we worship such a form, but the pure devotee understand. And this is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to lead to Jagannath, how you say, Jagannath, the city of Jagannath, because that is the most important Krishna form ever. Okay, so, and because this month, which is called Purushottama, Jagannath, Mass, which is most, then since Jagannath is the greatest, then this month is called Adhika. The name of the month is not Purushottama Mas, Purushottama Adhika Mas. And sometimes it's simply called Adhika Mas. Adhika means the best. Adhika means the best. And it's so charged with spiritual, how you say, spiritual energy that nothing material can happen. And because of this, it's also called Malamas. It is called Purushottama Adhika Malamas. Mala means useless, bad. No sacrifices for material, you say, a material thing.
No material gains.
Material gains happens. Nothing works. All these months, all the karmis, and every materialist, they just don't waste time because nothing will happen, because it's just surcharged with transcendental energy and happens only about 3 years, every 3 years. And that's why Purushottama Adhika Mas, Adhika Malamas. I like to say it all. It's also called in other names. It's also called Jestamas or other names, but mainly is Purushottama Adhika Malamas. That's why it's Sri Jagannath Swami month. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
If you want, I can say something about Purushottama Adhika Mas, but your question was specific on why it was called Purushottama. Anyway, yeah,
if you have time, I would appreciate it. But because I have read other stuff you have written about it, but still, this topic is so sweet that I can go on hearing and hearing.
Yeah, we have 2 very important questions about your great husband. So I don't want to risk everybody go because they are tired and
yes, answer his questions first.
I'm
yeah,
happy. I can stay until whenever.
yeah, I know you love Krishna Katha. This is very important in spiritual life. All right, so let's go to your 2 question of there is one question. He says, so first of all, how can we define Krishna consciousness? There are many ways, but the most simple, because it gives a clear idea with few words, is that Krishna consciousness is the natural, eternal state of the soul. We know that we are not a body. That's the A of the ABC, our philosophy. Everybody knows. We have a little machine of flesh and that will last not much, some time, but we are not this. We are the soul. So the soul, what is the soul? The soul is a natural, eternal state of the soul, is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means that you love Krishna. That's all. That's all. Just like, what is a fish? What is a bird? A bird flies. A fish, how you say? Nada.
Swims.
Huh? Swim.
Swims.
Yes, a swim. And that is the natural state. The bird flies. It's natural. The soul loves Krishna. This is the thing. Of course, when we say love Krishna, it implies a lot of things. there is the whole our philosophy is about love for Krishna. But a very nice, I find simple and nice, that Krishna consciousness is the natural eternal state of the soul. That is a pure love of God. So I think the next question about Prabhu was saying that what it means pure. I can give you some about the natural state of the soul. For instance, a pure devotee, it's not that he forces himself to think to Krishna or to talk about Krishna or to study about Krishna. It's just natural. This is a pure devotee. Okay, when he wakes up, okay, let's get to Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what he wants to do. That's natural. That's natural. While the materialist wakes up and say, what I have to do today to make money, to try to preserve what I have, a home, a wife, and children. This is the difference. The difference is like a Krishna conscious person, immediately, in any moment, he wants to do something regarding Krishna. And I was just yesterday reading 2.9, I think. Yeah, 2.9, the questions of Maharaj Parikshit. Or in the second canto, 2.9. 2.9 or 2.8? Anyway, 2.9. And I was thinking that anyone who is a devotee would go totally excited, just feel excited in the body reading these questions. First of all, because they are beautiful, and you enter into the heart of a pure devotee. Since you enter in the heart of a pure devotee, you feel the purity, you feel that he didn't care about anything, and not because he was going to die in 7 days. He was a pure devotee because he was a pure devotee. If you had to live hundreds of years or thousands of years, it would have been the same. And you feel it. Because a person who do such questions, it's not because, oh, I'm going to die. It's something that comes from the pure heart. You cannot do those questions if you are not pure in heart. Just like many devotees saying, I don't have questions, and etc. When I hear thing, I think, how it is possible? How it is humanly possible to read the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam and not having questions? I feel it I have questions. If I have Srila Prabhupada here, I would obsess him with questions. A lot of things I no idea how to understand it, and I would like to have Srila Prabhupada, Shukadeva Goswami or Sutta Goswami, or one of those to answer. So please try to read the books. First of all, go to read the questions of Maharaj Parikshit in the second canto, because they are beautiful. And also, when you read the Bhagavatam and any other Krishna conscious book, try to be open-hearted. I try to enter into the consciousness, the mind of the author or the person who is talking, and you will make a very quick spiritual advancement in that way. Okay, so of course, definition if it is a definition of Krishna consciousness to as someone who enters into the temple or a student or better to be simple. Otherwise, you confuse people. No? So the good definition that Srila Prabhupada gives, not my definition, is a Srila Prabhupada definition. A Krishna consciousness is a natural state, eternal state of the soul. And of course, you explain the difference between the soul, etc. But if you have arrived to the point that we are not this body, that we are soul, what is a soul? A bird flies again, the fish swim, etc., etc. The soul loves Krishna. Loves Krishna because the energy, the Atma Maya of Krishna that pervades all the spiritual world is so intense and beautiful that you enjoy just being there. You don't need to see Krishna. Of course, we want to see Krishna, obviously. You don't want to see Vrindavan. Of course, you want to see Vrindavan also. But just being there, you enjoy life eternally. Because the atmosphere coincides with your atmosphere, your nature, and the spiritual nature. It is the same. So you feel good. While in this material world, you get out of the house, you are afraid who I'm going to meet, what I'm going to do, and nothing makes sense in the material world, while everything makes sense in the spiritual world. Okay, so then we have another question about the chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. That there is a definition of devotional service as a sakama karma yoga and niskama karma yoga. So yoga, we have to be very careful because people without unscrupulous people on the West took the word yoga and destroyed it. Its reputation. The reputation of yoga is being destroyed by nonsense people. Yoga is something serious. Yoga is not this stupid putting the legs over. That's useless. You can have the same result by walking, by going in Plaza Las Americas and doing a walk. You receive the same. They say, well, Yamuna knows what is Plaza Las Americas. So
We have Plaza Las Americas here too.
you are not the same, I guarantee you. The day you come, you will see it. Unless you already know Plaza Las Americas. Okay, so what's the name of the 5-story? That doesn't matter. So
Here in this country, here in Santo Domingo.
in Santo Domingo, you have someone I don't remember. Anyway, it's not important.
No.
Sakama Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga. Yoga is devotional service. There's no difference. Yoga means huge, to go back to Krishna. That's yoga. It's not exercises. And so there are two kinds of karma. In karma, we are accustomed to think of karma as a material activities. It is not. In the third chapter of this Bhagavad Gita, and also part of the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we see that karma means devotional service. Devotional service. You can do, since karma is a generic word, which means to do. Karma viene dal Sanskrit kri. Kri means to do. So from kri, it comes karma. But karma can be spiritual or can be material. So when the Bhagavad Gita when the Bhagavad Gita puts yoga after karma means spiritual, because cannot be any yoga without spiritual activity. So yoga means that it transforms the word yoga in spiritual activity. And so if it's only karma, then it's something different. So sakama, sak in Sanskrit means con, okay? And nishkama karma yoga means without. It's a definition of two different type of devotional service. Sakama karma yoga is the type of karma yoga that you do with some desire. No, I want something from Krishna, from the devotees. I want to become a big devotee. I want to maybe I can get some money from the devotees since they have properties, they have this, or from Krishna. He wants a Krishna. I serve you, but give me something, because I've been chanting rounds for 50 years. Please, something. Give me. I'm still as miserable as before. So please, you can do something for me. This is a sakama. Kama means desire, material desire. Kama means lujuria and luxury or material. Sakama karma yoga is devotional service because karma yoga means devotional service with some desire. And this karma yoga means ni, in Sanskrit, it means no. Devotional service without any material desire. And so if you practice Niskama Karma Yoga, your spiritual advancement is going to be very quick. While until you have some desire, it's going to be very slow, or sometimes you even risk to fall down. Of course, everybody knows at the beginning, or even not in the beginning, after 10 or 20 years, desire, maybe 30 years, unfortunately, desires may be there. Actually, we see that they are there. But they will go away. They will go away because Krishna knows how to treat his devotees. If you are mistreated by Krishna, you are very lucky. Where Krishna takes everything, you have no money, you have no youth, you have no health, you have nothing, means that Krishna is taking care of you. While if you from devotional service you get a position, you get this, you get money, means that Krishna is not so. Krishna thinks that you are weak, that you can fall down if he takes away everything from you. That's why it's very lucky the devotees that have very little thing materially. There is a name for those who have nothing materially. What's the name of that, Lavanga? Anyway, my memory is going away. It went away already. So to conclude, Sakama Karma Yoga, because we have to go to Maharaj Priyavrata. Sakama Karma Yoga means your devotional service, you have some desire. Of course, you have to be very careful what type of that. Maybe it's not material. Maybe your desire is spiritual, or maybe it's a 50%, 50-50, or 60-40. Who knows? That's why we have gurus. That's a guru job. The guru job is to tell you where you are with your consciousness. And so a disciple who does not ask the guru is because he wants to continue to be as they are, and is afraid if he makes the question to the guru, he tells you something you don't like. So that's why I have anyway, I don't today I promise not to talk about me and my disciples. So, and So you have to be very careful. Sometimes Sakama Karma Yoga, maybe Sakama is a little, something little, maybe Niskama is actually, you say it's covered by absence of of desire, were actually underneath, in a little corner of your heart. You think, well, I don't have material desires, so everybody is going to think that I am a big devotee, a great devotee, and they will. That's why there is a very nice verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita where he says that Madhavendra Puri, when he was traveling in near he was in Orissa, and uh, everybody he tried to hide himself because everybody would go to glory, rightly so. They were going to him to glorify him, to serve him. So he tried to hide. One day he was hiding in a little marketplace, you know, and and there is a verse saying Madhavendra Puri was not didn't want any return for his pure devotional service. He just said, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami says that he was not a Niskarma Karma yogi because he wanted to appear pure, great, etc., etc. That's not the case. Okay, so I saw Mukunda Madhava Prabhu. So before answering about Priyavrata Maharaj, you want to say something? Haribol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances. So glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Wow.
Yes, you're gonna mean when you explain Sakama Karma Yoga that there has to be some desire of result. So when the devotee make the service, they have the desire to be recognized by the position or something like that.
If you want to serve Krishna, to make Krishna happy, that is not Sakama Karma Yoga, that is Niskama Karma Yoga. If you want something in return for yourself, oh, look how great he is. Look how nicely he's worshiping the deities. He is worshiping the deities, not the service that he is doing for Krishna. This is a different. And you feel the devotees watching you, and you are, well, they finally understood who I am. It took time, but at the end they understood who I was. That's a Karma Yoga. So sometimes it's very subtle because maybe you want to be recognized, because if you are recognized, then the devotees will take shelter of you, and and you can help them in Krishna consciousness. That is not Sakama Karma Yoga. This is Niskama Karma Yoga. So it's very, very simple. It's very, very subtle. Um, that's why we have titles in ISKCON, Temple President and GBC and Guru and this and that. Why? Because we want people to respect us. But why we want people to respect us? Because they respect and they listen. Of course, not everybody respect anyone, but they should. So if they respect, they got a chance to advance in spiritual life, because the position in ISKCON and in our tradition in general are made in such a way to help um, unsensitive people to advance in spiritual life.
Thank you, Maharaj. Very nice explanation.
Okay, so we go to the last question. maybe your wife can read the question because it's quite long. So I get 1 second rest in my
I
voice.
can read it if you want.
You can read it. Yeah, you know, you don't say all the obeisances and just go to the question.
But the point is that about Maharaj Priyavrata, because his son are the ruler for the whole
Yeah, but
island in the
why don't you read it? It's very clear.
Okay, let's read it.
Yeah, just read it.
Okay. While studying the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I have noticed that many of the rulers of the various Dvipa, island or planetary region, are described as son of Maharaj Priyavrata. This gives me the impression that most of the cosmological arrangement described there begin with him and his descendant. Could you kindly explain who Maharaj Priyavrata is in greater depth, his position in Lord's creation, and the significance of his role in the administration of the universe? Please help me.
Thank you. Okay, so first of all, who is Priyavrata? Priyavrata, we have 14 Manu. 14 Manu who live about 300 and something millions of years to cover one day of Brahma. One day of Brahma is 4,320,000 human days. So the first Manu was Svayambhuva Manu. Why it's called Svayambhuva? Because Svayambhu means born without a mother. Svayambhuva means the son of those who didn't have a mother, which means Brahma and the Svayambhuva Manu. The first Manu. We are at the sixth Manu now, by Vashvata Manu. And but the first Manu was Svayambhuva Manu. Svayambhuva Manu and his wife, famous Shatarupa, had two sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada. Therefore, Priyavrata was the first son of Svayambhuva Manu. Actually, Priyavrata didn't want any of that. You know, he went to Gandhamadana hill for meditation, but his father, Svayambhuva, told him that he had to rule the universe. Okay, so the first Priyavrata had two wives. We don't have the name of the second wife, but the first wife we have it, Barishmati, and he had altogether he had um, uh, 10 sons, 10 sons and one daughter. That was the son of Priyavrata. Some of them, I think three of them remained celibated, didn't want anything to do with material life, and they became and they lived as sannyasa. But we had seven rulers for each island of the universe. Do you want the name? I got my name from my, Agnidra, Idmajiva, Yagyabhao, Iranareta, Grishta Prishta, Medatiti, e Vitihotra. For those who read the Mahabharata, these names mean something because there is the whole, how you say, the dynasty coming from them. But the sons from the second wife, which we don't know the name. That's very strange because we know the name of everybody, okay, but not from Priyavrata's second wife, which are the most important, very, very important, Uttama, Tamasa, and Raivata. Those who study attentively, they know that these are three Manus. Uttama Manu, Tamasa Manu, and Raivata Manu, who came after Vaivashvata, no Vaivashvata, Svayambhuva Manu. Entonces, we have 14 Manus, and the first one was Svayambhuva Manu, the second was Uttama Manu, the third was Tamasa Manu, and then we have Raivata Manu. Okay? And about the Manu, just a little parenthesis. I already said that, yeah. I already said that more or less the Manu lives 306 millions human years. 14, if you multiply 306 for 14, which are the number of the Manu living in the day of Brahma, you have more or less 4 millions and 300,000 approximately. Okay, so going back to Priyavrata, so Priyavrata, the way he, I would say, did not create a universe. First of all, he acted only in Bhumandala, not in every planetary systems. Only in Bhumandala, he was given the I don't know how you say it in, I'm tired, and the duty, let's say, of
The ruler.
Creating the 7 islands with the 7 ocean. Okay, and then that's why he had 7 sons, and he gave 1 island to each son, Idmajiva, etc. I already told the names of the first kings. And this happened at the beginning of creation. At the beginning of creation. In a subsequent creation, because the creation is not always the same, doesn't remain always, the build, the way Bhumandala was set up by Priyavrata will not be. There's going to be, but now we have 7 islands, 7 7 ocean. Okay, so he did it in this way, and this is how. That's why the sun moves. That's why the sun moves, because otherwise, if the sun was always still, it would have illuminate only one part of the 7, because in the middle there is Meru. Okay, so then in that if the sun will not move around Meru, then there will be light only in half of the mountain. So Priyavrata did it in such a way that it was circumstance. That's the word is, and he and they had the sun moving. Okay? Circumambulate as he drove. So he had a very special chariot, because with 4 wheels it won't work, because he had to divide land, and that's why he had a one-wheel chariot that he was driving around Meru, and so the seven ocean and the seven island was created. I want to repeat, this is only Bhumandal. The other planetary system had nothing to do with Priyavrata's work. Okay? I think, and to finish, I want to say something more about something that I already said, but I want to repeat it because it's very important. Why people do not accept our cosmology or cosmography? Why they don't? They don't because they are lazy. They don't want to study because it takes a lot, only to understand. This is what I already said. It would take, if you go to the fifth canto, there is an ocean of names, of places, and what they want, the materialistic people, and what they want an answer. Sometimes they don't even want an answer, they don't care about anything. They care about what I'm going to eat tonight. But the few who wants, they will go listening to some fool scientist saying that there could not be another type, another extra dimensional universe. That's it. What we have a lot of space. I don't know what a waste of space. Why Krishna or Brahma did so much space between Earth and what's the use? Why create something so useless as the universe? He could have put something else between the Earth and Mars. No? Anyway, there is a lot of science. They don't want to study it because it's too difficult. They get the first thing that they get, yet they accept that, and everything else is faith, blind faith, it's religion. It's we don't accept that. We are curious. We are curious people. We want to know things. We want to know if there is something different. Maybe there is, from a perspective of someone who doesn't know. They should be curious to see, maybe study and see, and you will see that it would be impossible for any human, if all these people never existed, or if this universe never existed. We should give a Nobel Prize to someone who could just invent all these names and also this concept, which is not human. This Bhagavatam and all the Puranas, because all the Puranas say something about the universe, are the truth, and we should not be lazy, and we should study. And so in this way we can be satisfied mentally, because those who are lazy, they are also in tamoguna. They always, they don't have anything to think about. But someone who read the Bhagavatam and all the Vedas, they got a lot of things and they are very satisfied. That's why the books exist. That's why the sages, they speak a lot. That we have a literature that is impossible to study at all, even if you study every day for the whole life. Why? Because those who are just a little intelligent, they can fill our mind and our heart with what is a Krishna consciousness, because these names are Krishna consciousness. These stories are Krishna. That's how Krishna built indirectly, but this is how he built the universe. Okay, So if there is any question, I will answer. If not, we close here.
Thank you, Maharaj. Very beautiful and wonderful answer you gave me, as always. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Haribol. Okay, no further question. Thank you very much. I enjoyed very much the today because you sent me such a wonderful questions. I like to be challenged, and your questions, they were very challenging today. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
His Great Manonatha Maharaj Prabhu Ki Jai. Haribo.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Guru